They're powerful, beautiful, and for many anglers, the fish that started it all.
From skinny water tailors to giant bull reds, we've got reports, tips, and techniques to catch them on the Florida Insider Fishing Report, which starts now.
Welcome to the Florida Insider Fishing Report, presented by Yamaha.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Florida Insider Fishing Report. I'm Bree Gabrielle, and with summer officially here, it's great to have my co-host, Captain Rick Murphy, back fresh off a redfish tournament. Rick, I know redfish have always been one of your favorite species, so I know this is going to be a super fun show for you.
It is, Bree, and you know, for starting it all,
yes.
I caught my first redfish in 1974 in Everglades National Park. Guess what?
What?
It pulled drag like no bass that I had ever caught, and from that point on, I was after the saltwater fish.
You were hooked?
It changed it for me.
You were hooked.
Just like you say.
All right, well, speaking of bass, we're excited to welcome fishing legend Shaw Grigsby to the CCA workbench, and what an honor it is to have you, Shaw, the nicest guy in fishing.
I don't know about that, but
Yes,
I certainly love fishing, and I appreciate y'all having me, and there's a lot of crossover between bass fishing and redfish.
All right, well, we're going to touch on all of that a little bit later, but this captain definitely knows this week's species up close and personal, from redfish under the mangroves to tarpon in the passes and permit on the reefs. The Star-Tron Central West region is loaded with opportunity this week. Go for it, Paige.
You know what, Bree? You caught a few redfish with me in the Star-Tron Central West region, come to think of it.
Yes, I have.
Anyway, we have plenty of redfish throughout the entire region, south to north, and one of the reasons has been good water quality, no red tide since 2018, and good stewardship from all our anglers practicing catch and release. You know, our upper slot fish gets 28 to 30 inches, and that fish is already 8 to 10 years old. So, you know, if you're going to keep one, keep a 22 to 24 incher. Those are a lot younger fish, and it's better to let those big ones get out there and breathe. Now, I've had some good days, speaking of getting out there and breathe. There's been some out along the beach before all this west wind started. I had a really good day down on the rock piles down south of Siesta Key. Caught some really nice redfish on live bait, not breeders, slot size. Caught them on live filters, and then a friend of mine went the next day and caught them on cut bait. Now this time of year, cut bait works real well because the fish are kind of sluggish, and so a piece of cut bait on the bottom underneath the mangroves or around an oyster bar will work real good. If it's artificials you want to throw, it's tough to beat. Something you taught me how to crank in at a normal speed, Rick, is that Johnson weedless gold spoon. Some people like the quarter. I like the half because it's not much bigger in profile, but you can throw it a lot further. Another thing that they do is at nighttime this time of year when the water's so hot, they catch them in the inlets and passes and around bridges. But in the wintertime, we like to fish potholes in back bays and estuaries, which you've done with me a few times. And with the live bait, if you're going to use a live bait for the nighttime stuff, I suggest using a knocker rig to get them down on the bottom. And then live bait during the day, I'd suggest using a cork because then you'll know where your bait is. Pinfish, pilchard, even a grunt works real well. I've got a pretty cool redfish picture tonight. A few months ago, my partner and I teamed Star-Tron Ozzie Lessinger, and we almost won it. We got second, and that was in Rick Murphy's 21 Chittum.
That was a fast day for you, Captain Page. Tell me about the tarpon fishing.
All right, June's been tough for a lot of anglers because we've had, and you called it, Rick, with this El Nino, a lot of west wind, not a lot of rain, and it's been tough out there, but the guys that have grinded have been catching them. Live threadies have outfished the crab. Unless you're fishing that outgoing hill tide, then the live crab works real well. And I've even met some guys, and I know Shaw will understand this, that have been messing with that forward-facing sonar and having real luck at finding those groups of fish. I've got a tarpon picture tonight. That's actually of his name, Gabor Torek, and he won the oldest tarpon tournament in Sarasota, the Sarasota Tarpon Tournament, with a 34-inch girth fish. He hooked it with 5 minutes to go, So it was a legal hookup, and he landed it, and that's the picture of him.
Nice.
Going offshore, red grouper, #1 offshore species. Captain's been getting their limits, no trouble. Brian Alcorn of Double Trouble out of Cortez has had no trouble catching his limit, 110 to 140 feet of water. And then down south, Bo Johnson and Captain Kalen Olaire, they've been limiting out, no problem. Got a nice red grouper photo, and that's with Captain Jonathan Schnaring of Braden and Fishing Charters. And then my last species tonight, the permit, seems to get better when the water gets hotter. It's kind of like what you say about redfish, Rick. They're showing up on the artificial reefs in that 1 to 3 mile zone. It's not like you got to go out far, but you do need live crab. I suggest using one free line and then maybe a small split shot on one to get him down. And definitely use your anchor lock mode on your trolling motor. That way you can jockey around the reef without having to pull up an anchor. And my last permit photo tonight is from Braden and Fishing Charters, Captain John Schnaring.
All right, thank you so much, Captain Page. Great report, and starting us off with the StarTron Central West region. It's time for the Daiquiri Deck hotspots. Page says that, in short, tarpon fish the afternoon outgoing full moon tides with the free line pass crab in Boca Grande and Egmont Pass. And then offshore, red snappers with only 1 month left of the snapper season. The fish have moved out a little deeper. Look for them holding in 110 to 200 feet of water. Live pinfish or cut sardine has been working the best.
All right, well, as Paige said, things are heating up in the Phillips Southwest region where redfish are chewing, and there's no shortage of action, both inshore and offshore. Here's Ronnie Houston with this week's report.
Well, always a pleasure representing the Phillips Southwest region. Now, although there are many ways to catch redfish, I really suggest keeping it simple, especially when it comes to the live bait. You can heavy chum pilchards along the mangroves. And what that's going to do is, depending upon which way the current's going, that's going to draw the redfish out. Or you can simply use pinfish on knocker rigs. And when you want to use them on a knocker rig, you keep them stationary. But also for scent, you can cut the tails. A lot of guys up to the north like cutting the tail, and they catch the redfish doing that. But cut baits like ladyfish or mullet chunks really attract them, and they're really attracted to that scent. But you know, when it comes to artificial baits, there are really too many to name. But I'll tell you some of my most confident lures include top water walk the dog lures like the Jaywalker 120 is a great search bait to try to find these fish. Now, if these fish are coming up behind you and hitting that 120 and not taking it, just simply, whatever color you're using, downsize to the 90 side. Gold spoons, fan casted in all directions will also find the redfish. Soft plastic bass assassin little P&V on a jig head, or if there's tailors around, simply Texas rig it. The Berkeley Gulp shrimp on a jig head %. But most of all, you want to try to find these fish concentrated in clean water, especially along with bait. And how I try to find all my redfish and figure them out, I try to find them on these lower tides. It's the best way to find them. Once you find them on the lower tides, try to figure out and follow them to see where they go. That way you'll catch them on your mid and high tides. I got a picture this week of a nice oversized redfish. A gentleman who just recently fished for me, one of many we caught down in the Everglades.
Nice. All right, tell me about the trout, bud.
So the trout fight has been very good, actually, throughout the whole region. To the north, Jug Creek to Demir Key, especially with the abundance of bait that's up there right now. Depths of 2 to 5 feet of water, and that's also because there's a variety of grass and puddles in that area. Now, if you come further south, Coon Key to Pavilion Key, again, we're going to keep it in the same depth, 2 to 5 feet. We want to concentrate on fishing the outer Gulf points on your lower stages of the tide, and then off the edge to about 5 feet of water, as long as the water stays clean. And once that wind picks up out of the west and the water gets dirty, even though you were catching them when the water was clean, it could get tough. But in both cases, noise-making corks is the easiest way to find them with a simple soft plastic shrimp or paddle tail, as well as chumming live pilchard, or bounce the bottom with 8 1/4-ounce jig heads with a paddle tail or a soft plastic shrimp. And I got a picture this week of a nice trout that was caught recently while fishing with Captain Chris Broom out of Marco Island.
Nice. Let's go offshore, Ronnie.
Offshore, if the weather cooperates, and believe it or not, Friday the wind's supposed to go to east-southeast, and then for the weekend it's going to be light northeast. So I believe you'll be able to do this. Rex Towers and artificial reef for the permit anywhere right now, from Marco to Fort Myers Beach. They're still showing up in groups, and guys are catching them up to 30 pounds. sight casting schools on top with clean water, as well as maybe whatever trolling motor you're using. Simply put that in anchor mode. Free-lining live crabs or adding just enough weight to just get below the surface, especially if there's current. If you don't want to use the trolling motor, you can just simply drift across in and around the structure with the wind, put some crabs on top in and around the structure, and you should be able to catch your permit. This week's picture is going to be with Captain Perry Bedell on a mission fishing out of Naples. If you're looking to catch permit, this is the guy to go with. Last species is going to be the red grouper. Reports that I've talked about in the last several weeks, everybody's talking about it. You know, you're 75 to 95 feet all through the region. But let me tell you something a little different. This is a good time of year, especially if the weather's nice. You can run a bay boat. You want to concentrate in depths right now from 35 to 55 feet of water southwest of Marco. Although you will catch a variety of smaller fish in that area, you will come across keeper groupers and mangrove snappers by simply drifting the structure along the bottom. Once you start catching fish, anchor up. Once the bite turns off, drift and repeat the process. Baits those guys are using right now are live pinfish, live pilchards, cut baits, and the old school bucktail tipless skid will produce bites. And I got a picture this week while working that same program. Captain Perry Bedell on a mission fishing out of Naples with a nice keeper-sized red grouper.
That's beautiful. Okay, bud.
Pretty.
Thank you so much. We're going to take a look at the Punta Gorda Inglewood Beach hotspots from the southwest region. My man Ronnie, he says inshore, look for the snook, nighttime bite in Punta Gorda to Fort Myers Beach. Fish the intercoastal docks and the seawalls using live pilchard shrimp and soft plastic shrimp and paddle tails. And then if you want to go offshore, red snappers, 160 to 200 feet of water using live pinfish and a range of cut baits.
All right, Rick. Well, up next, we'll spend some time at the CCA workbench with Shaw Grigsby, talking rigs, techniques, and catching more fish. Shaw, what do we got over there? Thumbs up and lots of tips coming from Shaw. All right, then it's off to the lithium battery-powered Northeast region where Tommy Derringer has some great summertime action to share. Stay with us, and we'll be right back.
The Florida Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by Yamaha. Reliability starts here. Fenwick. Feel everything. ACR. Less search, more rescue. Penn. Let the battle begin. Casa del Golfo. Catch trophy fish and ride waves in our beachfront paradise. Berkeley Prospect Chrome. Lithium battery power. Powering your lifestyle. And Daiquiri Deck. Food, drinks, friends.
Lift off, Ricky, lift off. Wow, dude.
That's like as good as
That's cool, man. There he is, Ricky. Sailfish, baby. How about that? Now we're fishing in the Pacific, boys. We're pool fishing in Argentina, Jack. Well, welcome back to the Florida Insider Fishing Report. We're here at the CCA workbench, and I got Bass Hall of Famer with me, Shaw Grigsby. You know, Shaw, one, it's great to have you here.
Oh, it's awesome to be here, man. Appreciate
Number
you having
two,
me.
you know, we're going to talk a little bit about redfish, and I want to express to everybody what kind of rod and reel we're going to start off with. You're going to want a 7 to a 7.6.
Exactly.
Fast action rod. It doesn't have to be very heavy. It's capable, like this Battle 4 is very capable of handling a big redfish, medium-sized redfish. It's capable of throwing all the stuff here in the workbench that we're going to be talking about. We're going to load it up with X9 Berkeley 10 pounds so we can make long casts.
Right.
And then I like a 25-pound leader.
It's perfect.
Because 30-pound, if you're fishing lures, it may hurt the action of the lure.
Right.
And 20 pounds, so many times people will grab the fish, try to lift them out of the water, and we break the fish off, losing our lure.
Exactly. Perfect setup.
But speaking of lures, your favorite way to catch them?
Well, it's got to be top water. You know, their mouth parts are on the bottom. They're cruising the flats. They see this top water, and they have to literally come out of the water to get it. It's the most exciting bite you can have. But that doesn't happen all the time.
Right.
So it's very situational. You get them on top, but when you do, it's heaven.
The
It's
explosion is
yes.
breathtaking.
Yes.
All right.
Another bait I like is a crankbait. Now this one's exceptional because most crankbaits have a lip to dive down. Well, you're fishing redfish, especially in Florida, you're getting into oyster bars, you're gonna get hung. It's a tough deal. This is a wake bait. So now it'll wake on the surface, or you can reel it and it'll be down maybe a foot deep, right?
Depending on the angle of the rod. If you wanted to go deep,
right,
put the
keep
rod
it down,
tip
and it's also the speed of the retrieve. Both of those determine that. But here's the cool thing. That is what goes on my rod for kids. Okay, now you have to dodge hooks, treble hooks sometimes, but just make sure they're looking and they make a cast. But here's the deal. You put that on that braid setup and you put this on, they don't have to set a hook. It doesn't get hung. So as they throw it across an oyster bar or whatever, it's gonna roll on the surface or just dip it underneath it. They eat it. They don't have to set a hook. They just reel them in, and that's fun.
Now, speaking of kids,
tried
and true, the old pop
and cork. It's an amazing, amazing addition to fishing redfish. It calls them. So this is, you're gonna pop it, hit it pretty hard, and you put pretty much any soft plastic underneath it. You pop it, they hear it. It's like another redfish feeding on a fish, and they come to it. It's like something's happening. I got to check it out. They're curious. They see the bait. There it is.
And you really like to pop it hard. Make a big bubble trick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can use the same setup for a live shrimp. Hooked underneath the chin, correct?
Exactly.
All right. Now, scented plastics are certainly something that has really changed the redfish game. Redfish like scent.
They do.
So in this particular case, we could put a gulp shrimp, a 4-inch shrimp, a P&V, whatever it is. These bass assassins work very, very well. But one of the things that I think it's important to talk about, Shaw, is search baits. The spoon is a search bait. You also have a chatterbaits.
Bladed jigs, incredible. These are amazing fish catchers. These are what we use bass fishing. So like I've used a Johnson spoon forever back in the day, and the bladed jigs are new. The fish really like it. It's something new to them, so they crush it. You want a lighter one, like a 3/8 ounce.
Right.
And you want something that's kind of bright because they like that.
Right.
If you get real bright conditions, you can tame it down by going to a more subtle color on a trailer, and it looks very natural to them, so they just chew it.
All right, now, a lot of guys are using a Texas rig setup. Now, this can be problematic if we don't approach it the correct way. But let's talk about
baits.
TK 125,
Amazing
why it works
hook.
so well.
Well, so
about the barb.
Where I really learned about this was using it on the baits that are made out of the Laztec type product, and because you put it on a jig head. So everybody has one of these, the little minnow style.
Right.
You put it on a jig head, it won't stay. You first hook set, it slides down, so you take a dab of super glue to do that. Right. Well, with this hook, when you rig it, you're just going to stick it in just like you would.
Show this
all right,
here.
I'm going to show it right here.
Okay.
You're going to go in just like you would rig a Texas rig worm.
Right.
You're going to come in. You're going to slide this all the way around, cover the eye, and slide the little spur, the little deal,
keeper,
to slide it in there, and look what happens.
Right, it won't pull down.
So now you catch fish after fish after fish. It doesn't tear up. It works on these, makes them last longer. It works on every soft plastic, so I love this hook.
Okay, one last question. This is really important, Shaw. I want you to show people the mistake we make by using a Texas rig style bait is that we run into trouble when we get the bite. How do you measure this? I want to show people.
So you want to see that how little distance you have between the bottom and the top of that, because that bait, when it bites it, it's going to crush it. And so you want a big bite there. So if you have too small a hook and it's the same length, like you take your bait here and you look at that, this hook on this bait, there's no distance, right?
There's no distance,
There's no
when
distance.
he bites down, it's not exposing the point.
Right.
Versus show people
that you put a big one on here.
Put a big one in there. Go ahead and put it
look
on.
at the difference in the gap on that. So
Yeah.
you're going to be able to have a huge gap, and that's just, we're going to rig it exactly what I rigged there.
Yep.
You know, you're just going to pop
So
it
this
through
is
the top.
the TK60.
Yeah, 6.0, and you can get a 5/0 is about the same
Yeah.
deal. And I usually spit on it. I'm not going to do that in studio here, but
Right.
because it makes it slide a lot easier. And these baits are real tough, you know, for saltwater. But there it is, that like that, and it can't come down. And then you can see when you hook it, you can see the movement that you have for the hook set.
So that's a great example how to rig
Increase
a
your fish
big,
catching.
thick bass assassin bait
There
or
you
any
go.
big, thick bait.
Right.
Man, I don't want to say goodbye. This is so awesome. Did he do an awesome job there, Bree?
He absolutely did. Lots of good tips over there. Thank you, Shaw. All right, if you love redfish, you're going to love this report because Tommy D has been finding some great topwater action across the lithium battery power Northeast region. What's going on, Tommy?
Hey, Bree, you're exactly right, man. You know, redfish, they're my favorite fish. You know, I fish for them something like probably 250 days a year. Sometimes I feel like I eat, sleep, and breathe redfish, which is cool with me because I absolutely love them. And, you know, we have a fantastic redfish fishery here in the Northeast region. I like to promote catch and release of redfish in my region, but you are allowed to keep one per person. And I was really happy when they put that limit back to one a few years back. You know, you can catch redfish not just in the backcountry flats and creeks that like we do, but along the jetties, off the piers, from the beach, on the nearshore wrecks, just about anywhere there's some salt water. Now, one of my favorite things about redfish is that anglers from the pro level, like Rick and Shaw, all the way down to the kid who's never even touched a fishing pole before, they can really enjoy catching a redfish. Now, once you catch one, I promise you, you're going to be hooked on redfishing. I take bass fishermen from all over the country to catch their first redfish. Once they set a hook into a redfish, man, those bass, they kind of take a back seat. Now, we have a high tide early in the morning this weekend, and this is top water redfish season for sure. You know, like Shaw was talking about, man, when a redfish comes up to smash that Berkeley Jaywalker top water plug, let me tell you, it's absolute chaos and joy at the same time. It's so cool. But also the creek fishing throughout the entire region has also been great on the outgoing tide as of late. You know, all you need is a really simple rig, a live shrimp or a mud minnow on a 1/4 ounce jig head. Just fish that right along the bottom. Fish that in the deeper creek holes. Right around that low tide, you're going to find some hungry redfish right now. Now, on the same tide stage, the redfish have been backing up in the skinny stuff on the flats and on the edges of the ICW. They're up there looking for small shrimp, minnows, and mullet. Now, my new favorite lure right now to sight fish those skinny water redfish is that Gulp Nemesis prawn. Pair that up with a lightweight weedless hook or even a jig head. You can make a presentation with that setup that makes very little splash so you don't spook the fish, which is really important. And because of the scent, a lot of times you can just drag it right in front of the fish and he's going to eat it. But that thing has the Nemesis prawn has a little curly tail. It's got great action. So if you give it a little jig, you're definitely going to seal the deal and get the bite from that redfish. They have been absolutely smoking that setup. And I've got a picture here. This is my good buddy, Fred Sealing, with a really nice redfish he caught with me recently. Fred's one of my favorite people to have on the boat. Let's just say we've caught quite a few big redfish over the years. He's even rocking his Florida Insider Fishing Report T-shirt.
Oh, look at
I
that.
saw that.
Represent.
Wow.
Represent.
Representing. Good job.
Now, also inshore, guys, the flounder, man, the bite has really turned on the last couple of weeks throughout the region. Just grab some big mud minnows or some finger mullet and then go fish those runouts or the small creek mouths on the last couple hours of the outgoing tide. And if you find one of those runouts that are holding a good amount of bait, that's even better. Keep it simple. Use a 1/4 ounce jig or maybe an 1/8 ounce, depending on how deep it is, and just drag the mud minnow or that mullet really slow across the bottom. Keep it nice and slow. Those flounder are running about 15 to 18 inches. There's some good size ones of those guys around, and I've got another picture here. Captain Buzz Brandon from Northeast Florida Angling, he sent me this picture of Carter with a nice flatty that he caught on a recent trip up there in Jacksonville.
Awesome.
Nice, bud.
Let's go offshore, bub.
Yeah, man, the kingfish bite has really picked up along the beach this week. I spoke to our buddy, Captain Gibb. He told me he's been doing a lot of pre-fishing for those kingfish tournaments, and he says most days he's catching between 10 and 20 kingfish, just slow trolling pogies right there along the beach and around the inlets. He said the better bite has been to the south end of the region towards Ponce Inlet this week, but he has caught fish from Jacksonville all the way through St. Augustine, so they're kind of all over the place right now. as usual, find the areas that are holding the bait. That's where the fish are going to be. Be on the lookout for pokey pods and the glass minnow pods. There's a ton of glass minnows around right now. Now, staying offshore, the mangrove snapper, they're in full swing. There's some big fish being caught right now, and a lot of them, too. Captain Jimmy Laidler from the Legend Fishing, he's been piling those things up. There's also a good mix of muttons and vermilion snappers chewing as well. Jimmy said chumming is his go-to method right now, but the beadliners, they can be caught on the bottom. He's using chicken rigs for those guys. But for the mangoes, chunk up some sardines around your favorite reefs. Get those mangoes up in the column and free line a chunk of the sardine on a 3/0 Eagle Claw circle hook. There are some big mangoes around. And speaking of big ones, I got one last picture here, guys. This is the man himself, Captain Jimmy Laidler, with a rather large example of the mangrove snapper that you can catch on his boat, the Legend, right now.
Wow, that's an awesome fish. Thank you so much for the pictures as always, Tommy. We're gonna go ahead and get the hot spots from the Northeast region inshore. Get out early for the high water redfish and trout topwater bite. Go at first light to beat the heat and toss a Berkeley Jaywalker 120 parallel to the grass lines that are holding bait. Then offshore, mixed bag of mangroves, muttons, and vermilion snappers in 120 feet and out on the reefs and wrecks.
All right, Rick, well, as you know, redfish are one of Florida's most iconic species, and they are a big part of the CCA Florida Star Youth Fishing Tournament presented by Yamaha. Youth anglers ages 6 to 17 can win a share of more than $100,000 in scholarships or even a new boat, motor, and trailer package just by catching a redfish, taking a photo with their 2026 star identifier, and entering through iAngler. And for the big kids, don't miss the Drum Spots, a Lots of Spots tournament presented by Gulf State Automation with weekly prizes and more than $25,000 in awards for the redfish with the most spots. How fun is that? Visit ccaflstar.com or iAngler to register and join in the fun this summer.
Sounds fun.
Sounds fun. All right, well, still ahead, Mike Anderson takes us to the Northwest region for this week's redfish action. And then Captain Jim Ross joins us from the Central East region with another great summertime report. And speaking of summertime, join us Wednesday, July 22nd for our next live studio audience show as we celebrate lobster mini season. Come experience the show live, meet the crew, and get ready for one of the most exciting times of year on the water. Visit FloridaInsiderFishingReport.com and reserve your spot today. We'll be back.
The Florida Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by Power Pole, Total Boat Control, Berkeley, Your Fish, Our Science, Bahio, Blue Light Blocking, Radically Clear Polarized Fishing Sunglasses, Penn, Let the Battle Begin, and Kubota, your local dealer of choice.
All right, from tailing reds on the flats to bulls around the inlets, the Central East region has just about every kind of redfish action you could ask for. Hold up. So let's hear it, Jim. What's going on?
Well, Bree, as you know, redfish are a staple for anglers that are fishing in our lagoon flats, and of course the near coastal waters have plenty of them too here in the Central East region. We catch reds from 14 inches up to over 40 inches on a regular basis. Artificial lures do work, but live baits and cut baits are a little bit better most of the time. The smaller fish like to hang around the shallows and in all three of our lagoons, and on calm days you can see them tailing or pushing wakes along the shoreline. Most of the time these fish are in less than 18 inches of water, and the smaller reds love to hang around or under those trees for protection, especially in the middle of the day. They can kind of get out of the sun and get up under there, and they can also use those as ambush points. The bigger fish have a tendency to cruise the flats as well. Most of the time they're in about 20 to 24 inches out to about 5 feet of water, so 2 feet of water up to about 5 feet of water. And the larger fish are easier to feed than they are to trick. Those guys, so they've got a PhD in whatever lure it is that you're throwing at them. So a lot of times live bait or cut bait or blue crab seems to be working really good for those. Being older and wiser, they're much warier, and so those baits have a tendency to trick them much better. The near coastal fish can be found around pokey pods, under mullet schools, especially in the fall time, in summer and fall time in the Space Coast area, and around most of our inlets and jetties. So I've got a couple of pictures here. We've got one that's a beautiful little slot red that we got the other morning. This is a banana river fish, so you can see those fish are starting to get some really good color in them. And then the other one is more of a near coastal thing where we've got a redfish, and we also caught a drum kind of simultaneously at the same time with that second photo.
Cool. All right, tell me about the triple tails, bub.
Ricky triple tails, they're finding them all over the floating weeds. We've had so much weeds, floating in over the last couple of weeks that they have really brought in a lot of extra triple tailed from what we normally see. And anywhere from 20 feet out to about 90 feet of water right now is where you want to concentrate. Any kind of floating debris seems to be working best for those. And a small live finger mullet or a small pilcher is going to get them to strike. But I really like shrimp the best. And we're going to actually talk about triple tail on a future show coming up, so you guys and gals don't want to miss it. I'm going to be giving some tips and tricks at the workbench. Most of our fish right now are running 15 to 20 inches, but there's a few larger ones like this one Steve and I put on the boat the other day, and he had a real good time catching this nice fish that he just was holding up there.
Yeah, nice picture, bub. Beautiful. All right, let's go offshore.
Dolphins, what's going on right now? Captain Greg Rapp over out of Sea Leveler Charters in Port Canaveral has been running his anglers out, and he says, do not overrun the fish. He says the very first flying fish or ballyhoo you see, he goes, he doesn't care if it's in 40 feet of water or not. He says, stop, put some baits out, maybe throw some liveys out. He says because they're really pushed in tight. Now, we've got some cold water that started to swirl around, so this may change things just a little bit, but he was catching them consistently in 60 to 90 feet, and then outside of about 120, they had kind of slowed up a little bit. But like I said, we got a little cool water. That may change, but we've got a lot of bait inshore, and that's bringing those fish inshore. And there's a few king mackerels mixed in there as well. And then the last thing that's running around those pogie pods, we talked about tarpon last week, but in with the tarpon, you've got jacks. And we have got those huge jacks running around right now. They're hitting suspending plugs. The Artemis shad, the new AI shad from Assassin, is also a good one. A lot of variations of artificial lures, especially things that swim erratically with a tight, erratic swim, really seem to entice the jacks. And they also work for dolphin, cobia, other things as well. But look for these jacks around the pogie pods or just outside the surf break, especially on the incoming tide. That seems to be when they're fighting best right now. Most of our jacks are running 20 to 30 pounds, and I've got one more picture here with a nice big jack. And if you look in the background of this picture, you can see we're using that Pin 5000 battle reel. That's the DX series reel. A Pin Slammer will work just as good. That's fitting on that rod right behind the gentleman that's holding that jack. And if you look up a little higher, we've got one of those Assassin AI shads on a weedless hook, and that thing works really good whenever you're fishing around those bait pods.
That's awesome, Jim. I know those jacks can really test those pin reels. What do you think?
There's nothing like that drag, though. I mean, when you need it, it's smooth, and I tell you what, if you need the power, you can tighten down on them and put the lock down on them and get them to the boat and turn them from hour jacks into 15-minute jacks real quick.
That's exactly right. Drag kills, as you know. Thank you so much, Jimmy. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the hot spots from the Central East region. He says inshore, the redfish in central Banana River, the Newfound Harbor area in the morning, use 2 to 3 inch Assassin paddle tails or a gulp shrimp shad lure. And then later in the day, you might want to use some cut bait up underneath the mangroves. And then offshore dolphin, 70 to 120 foot depth, use small ballyhoo skirted combos or live menhaden on a 5/0 circle hook rig. What do you think, Bree?
Hashtag drag kills.
Drag
We
kills.
just came up with a new hashtag. All right, the Casa del Golfo Northwest region is firing on all cylinders this week. Redfish are patrolling the shorelines, snook are on the prowl, and even the mangrove snappers have gone crazy. Let's check in with Captain Mike Anderson. What's going on, man?
Hey guys, yeah, redfish, my very favorite target, my very favorite species to target, easy for me to say. With these higher summer tides, we've been fishing the bushes, working those mangrove shorelines with cut bait. Cut pinfish, ladyfish, threadfin herring are all of my favorites. Cut mullet works as well. Target those shorelines with good move-in water, possibly a little deeper cut or edge to them too. Remember it's hot out there for them, just like it's hot out there for us. So finding that water temp just a few degrees cooler can make a big difference in your bite. That water temp was 92 degrees today. We haven't got a lot of water in the region or a lot of rain in the region. We've had west wind and south wind the last week to 10 days. It's made the tides really, really high. So finding that water temp just a little bit cooler, find those shaded shorelines where you can get up underneath the mangroves. That's been the way to do it. I like to fish those cut baits with a 3/0 circle hook. I got a 1/4 ounce egg sinker right above, kind of fishing it like a knocker rig. I think it's better for the fish than using a J hook or a jig head, which I know a lot of people like to do. Again, target those shorelines covered in big mullet. The bigger the mullet, the better. Your chances of finding those redfish really key in on those really, really big mullet. When they come out of the water, when you go, wow, that's a huge mullet, that's where you want to start your redfish hunt for sure. Got a nice picture here. This is a really nice redfish. This young lady caught on a cut mullet up there with Captain Dallas King again out of Crystal River. So that's a good fish, doing exactly what we were just talking about in the report. And then our snook bite, it's snook time right now, especially in the southern part of the region, all the way up there to Crystal River, even up towards Cedar Key. That bite's on fire right now, especially along the beaches. We're targeting the passes and points with good moving water. Live pilchards are still the bait of choice if you're fishing for numbers, but cut bait really works good on those big trophy-sized fish, especially when that water temp climbs like it is right now. Those big fish get lazy, and they'd rather not chase anything down. So big cut ladyfish, kind of my favorite. Cut threadfins work really good as well. Great way to beat the heat and get plenty of action is to target those bridges, passes, and those intercoastal docks at night. The cooler temps at night seem to really be turning that bite on. A lot of guys I talk to have been running their trips at night and doing really, really good. You can use live baits, artificial baits at night. Both will get great results. So many people have underwater dock lights now along the intercoastal that it just creates a great opportunity for anglers. Gives the fish a good ambush point. They hang out in the dark there, slide into those lights as the baits come through them, and you got yourself a good snook bite going.
All right, let's go offshore, bub.
You know what? Scamp grouper, it was interesting because I was trying to put this report together talking to my offshore guys, and like 5 guys I talked to in a row all mentioned the scamp grouper bite was phenomenal the last week. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And they were catching good scamp in 120 to about 180 foot of water. Small pinfish, really well hooked. Threadfin chunks work well too. So the right presentation is key. Captain Dylan Hubbard from Hubbard's Marina was telling me they find good, really good sized fish, 8 to 15 pound fish in that 120 to 180 foot depth. And then smaller schoolie sized fish in 200 to 300 or maybe 350. And then they get fish 20 pounds plus out there past 400 foot. I thought that was extremely interesting that there's, pretty big fish, little schoolie fish, and then really big fish out deep. I just thought it was kind of interesting. I thought those schoolie fish might be in a little shallower, but that's just not what we're seeing. So target your more subtle pieces of bottom, small potholes, smaller ledges. They do coexist with gags pretty well, but again, my guys are telling me to target those smaller pieces for best results on those scamp grouper. Great table fare. That scamp's pretty tasty.
Yeah, he is. All right, what else you got offshore?
Mangrove snapper, and it's been even inshore with that water temp, like I said, pushing, 90 plus. The bite's just been crazy all week. The whole southern part of the region's kind of on fire. I was getting really good reports of big mangoes offshore, near shore. We even caught some inshore while we were snook fishing. So really kind of interesting. Live pilchards are certainly one of my favorite baits. Shrimp work good as well, both live and frozen. Seems like when you find them, they're so thick that getting a chum slick going kind of gets them going crazy, creates a little competition down there to get those baits. They see all them chum pieces coming. There's so many fish down there, they want to see who can get there first. So the nearshore reefs are a great place to target right now. We've got some great ones out in front of St. Pete Beach, right off of Clearwater as well. Just anchor up tide, chum them right to you. I would also have a bigger pitch rod ready. As fishing those reefs, you never know when Mr. Cobia is going to show up. There's been a lot of cobia around. A couple of my guys had some today, near shore that they caught. So make sure you got a rod ready for Mr. Cobia while you're out there mango snapper fishing.
So, Mike, I got a question for you. For those who don't know, why don't we tell everybody about your radio show, when it is and what time on the weekends?
Okay, well, I'm pretty blessed. I got 2 radio shows. We're on 970 WFLA. That's an iHeart station. We're on the iHeart app as well. 970 Saturday mornings is 6 to 8 a.m. That's the show I do with Captain Dylan Hubbard. And then we also do Sunday mornings, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., also on iHeart. But we're on 97.5 FM and 620 a.m. That's WDAE. And that show, we've been doing that show for 23 years now. So it's pretty crazy. But it's a live call-in show, just trying to give people reports, do them early in the morning, so as people are headed to the water, they can call in and we can kind of try to help them catch some fish.
Okay, man. Well, I appreciate you updating us. I hope you guys take a little time on the way to the boat ramp to listen in with Mike. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the Discover Crystal River hotspots from the Northwest region. Mike says inshore, triple tails, target crab trap buoys and channel markers from Hudson north to Yankeetown with a live shrimp or live pilchard, fished under a cork or free line with the tide. And then if you want to go offshore, don't forget the red groupers. The water temps are climbing, but the bite remains really good in 120 feet of water all the way out to 150 in the entire region. Target areas with large concentration of bait for those best results.
All right, if big blue water screaming drags and blue marlin are your kind of summer, this one's for you. The 45th annual Key West Marlin Tournament takes place July 22nd through the 25th during Hemingway Days in Key West, Florida. Last year's event paid out over $260,000 across marlin and fun fish divisions. Fish the famous wall by day, then enjoy all the food, the fun, and island energy Key West is known for at night. Spots are limited, so register now at keywestmarlin.com. But still ahead, we'll check out some exciting Taco Marine new products at the CCA Workbench. Rick, we're going shopping with Shaw.
We are going shopping with Shaw. Shaw, you know what? It's so awesome to have you here, but you know what? We're going to share our little secrets of keeping safe at night.
Absolutely. Safety's key.
Safety is key. All right, and then Rich Murphy takes us to the Black Oak LED Keys region where the summer bite is heating up both inshore and offshore. So make sure you stay hooked, and we'll be right back.
The Florida Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by Skeeter Performance Fishing Boats. Eat, sleep, fish. Alta Equipment Company, where uptime matters. Ameritrail. Load, launch, relax. Discover Crystal River, Florida. Bass Assassin and Saltwater Assassin. Best lures, period. And Black Oak LED. Never be left in the dark.
Well, we're here at the CCA Workbench. It's time for the Taco Marine new products. You know, Shaw, I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in with both feet. I appreciate you helping me with this because I need lots of help. We're going to start off with, Black Oak LED, Shaw. They create a whole line of products that keeps us safe at night. I've got a color night vision camera that's on my big center console. We also have light bars that they create, and then they have a spotlight that we attach to our trolling motor shaft or maybe one of the legs on a front casting platform. But tonight I want to talk a little bit about this low profile light bar. We have this on the front of the front runner. We set it back on the top of the T-top a little bit so it doesn't blind you.
Right.
But we would never drive a car without your lights on at
Wouldn't
night.
think of it.
And so I don't understand why we think because we've got radar and we have GPS that there's going to be some guy not sitting in a channel during lobster season doesn't have his lights on. So here's what I'm going to tell you. This particular light bar, it's 20% brighter. It's a low profile. It's waterproof housing. It has 7 different options when it comes to the way you can wedge it. We can aim it up depending on how the T-top is up or down. But again, by setting it back, it doesn't blind you because you use the hard top to keep it
out in front.
Out front. Right. So I'm going to tell you tonight we've got a little great discount code. If you use FIFR, the Florida Insider Fishing Report 25, you will get a giant discount off of this light bar. I love everything about Black Oak LED. You can go to blackoakled.com. That'll take care of all your needs and any information that you might want. Continuing on, Fenwick, been around a long time. And they have recreated a lot of their great designs. This particular rod is the Fenwick Elite. I love these rods because the lightness of how light they are. But the other part is this is a 3630 graphite blend with certainly proprietary reinforced resin. The other part that I like about it is this particular rod butt. It's not square on the end. So it's real friendly to me when I'm fighting a big bull redfish, maybe even a tarpon or whatnot. It comes in 7 and 7'6" lengths, and also a limited lifetime warranty. The guides are stainless or titanium frames with the zirconium insert. So that particular thing, it works really, really well.
Perfect for braid.
Yeah, perfect for braid. Now I know that we have a new guys, the Renew promotions, and they are really good to us.
They are, but they do everything. I mean, so they not only do embroidery, but they do screen printing. They do everything from promotional. You can get business cards. You can do banners. If you have a logo and you want it to really stand out, come alive, you want to go to renewpromo.com because that'll tell you everything they make. They've been in business like 17 years. They do all the high school programs. They do all logos for that, even some college stuff. So, man, you just got to check them out.
And they got 2 locations.
Nice.
So you can certainly go online, check them out, and they can fulfill any need that you have.
Anything.
Whether it's performance shirts, you know, AFCO
hats,
provided us with this,
it.
but we wanted to put our logo on there. So they do sportsman stuff, the Florida Insider Fisher Report, Texas Insider Fisher Report as well. Yeah. They've done bags for us, beach towels, all kinds of cool things. Yeah. So any need that you might need, they certainly give them a chance.
Yeah.
We got rain jackets where they put my logo a Chittum logo on the back of my rain jacket. Yeah. So it's just, they're badass.
Renewpromos.com. Remember that, renewpromos.com.
Promos with the S. All right, last thing, certainly Penn has a performance cap. What I love about this is it comes in a couple colors, the blue and red, which is certainly their saltwater color. And then the other part that really is cool about this is it's a premium light performance fabric. So many hats these days are hot. The contrast color rope, certainly. We have a snapback, and then we have the woven patch that has been sewed on. It's a good looking hat.
Really good looking hat.
And
goes with your shirt.
It goes with my shirt, so we got to try this out. Oh, it'll even fit watermelon head guys that got 5 and 6 heads instead of a 4 head. I got a camera guy that he cannot wear a small hat. This will fit his noggin, no problem. What do you think, Bree?
Well, I think I know who this camera guy is, so I can tell him you said that.
Oh, I'm sure he's watching and I'm gonna be in trouble now.
Uh-oh. All right, well, there's nothing quite like watching a redfish tail across the flat, and that's exactly what's happening in the Black Oak LED Keys region. So let's talk about it, Ridge.
If you grew up anything like I did, red fishing was a huge part of family days out on the water. Here in the Black Oak LED region, red fishing is in Florida Bay all the way from the Middle Keys is a good way to learn how to present baits in a sight fishing scenario with a forgiving participant. Redfish can be caught all year round, from fishing a jig head on the bottom with live shrimp in the wintertime around the islands and the moats, to sight fishing big schools of fish rumbling around on the crowns of the flats in the summertime. Also, they do from time to time do some tailing, and they also piggyback on the rays. So redfish have many different mannerisms that can help you become a better angler. A few things that you want to do when you're targeting these fish is aim small, and you want to miss small. Redfish are very forgiving fish that when you make a cast, and you can be very aggressive. You want to hit them in the face, and as long as the angle is going away from them rather than coming at them, you should be able to get the bite. You can throw lures like the Berkley hard baits, such as Jaywalker 100, or a Berkley stick shad, or soft plastics like a Bass Assassin 4-inch sea shad, Elite Shiner, or shrimp patterns that Gulp has to offer too. But nothing catches redfish quite like a Johnson Gold Spoon, preferably 1/4 ounce or 1/2 ounce. You want to throw Fenwick Elite rods in 7-foot or 7'6" in medium fast and medium light, with a 2,500 to 4,000 size Penn spinner reels, and you want to use 8 to 15 pound Berkley X9 braided line with 20 to 40 pound fluorocarbon leader. And I have a photo sent in by my buddy Gavin and his buddy RJ with a nice pair of redfish.
Beautiful. What else inshore, Bo?
In transitioning from the edges of the flats and in the potholes, the snooks are laying up and staging in the high current areas. You want to fish bass assassin paddle tails or bounce shrimp on a jig head for the snooks as you're getting up on the flats and as you're coming off the flats. These fish are ranging from 23 inches to lower slots with the occasional jumbo mixed in. You can also look for those fish up on the beaches too. As you're pulling along, you want to look for the blowouts, and once you see a few, you want to slow down and start blind casting into the green holes, or look for the stick-like silhouettes laying in the troughs or in the moats with yellow fins. You want to use 30 to 40 pound fluorocarbon leader on a Fenwick Elite medium fast rod, and that'll get the job done.
All right, tell me about the offshore. Yeah, bub.
We got mud snappers. Fishing's been fair if you can keep them away from the sharks. You want to anchor or you want to side drift on the edge of the reef anywhere from 80 to 200 feet of water. You want to use long leaders and make sure that you have enough lead to hold the bottom with the current that we got right now. You can use lead anywhere from 10 to 16 ounces. That should work really well. And you want to use an Eagle Claw Circle C hook from 5.0 to 7.0 depending on the size of your bait. For bait, you want to use butterfly ballyhoo, live filtered, cigar minnows, live ballyhoos if you can get them, or pinfish. Also offshore, the mahi-mahis have been all over the place from 700 feet of water to 1,500 feet of water. You want to look for the birds and debris around the weed lines. You want to troll an R&R mahi magnet until you get the bite, and then once you have one on, you can have some spinners ready to go, loaded up with 30-pound mono and 40 to 60-pound fluorocarbon leader with a 6.0 Eagle Claw J-hook. For bait, you want to use dead ballyhoos or live cigar minnows, pilchards, and sardines will also get the job done. And be sure to have an R&R de-hooker to shake off the fish that you're catching off into the box so you can get another bait out and get them ready to go. You guys want to remember that they're 20 inches to the fork of the tail and 5 per person. And I also have another photo of my buddy Schmitty with his son Gavin and the nice mahi that they got out on the sword grounds at Key Largo.
All right, Ridge, I got a question for you. You know, you just fished a bunch of tarpon tournaments. How do you think the tarpon season's going? It seems to me that maybe it's still got a lot more to go. Is it on time, is schedule, or are the fish behind schedule?
It seems as if they are on time and even a little late, maybe about a week or 2 weeks late. So if you're thinking about going down to the Keys and catching some fish, don't be scared to sit out there on the ocean. As long as you got good light, you know, there's plenty of other things you can go do. You go permit fishing, bone fishing and stuff. But if you're still thinking about, you know, maybe I can get out there and go do some tarpon fish on the ocean, you might want to set up in some northbound spots, but there has been some fish swimming both ways all this week and last week. So we've had some fish going around and should have some within the next 2 weeks or so also.
That's a good answer. All right, bud, thank you so much. We're going to take a look at the renewed promotions, hot spots from the Florida Keys. My man Ridge says, hey, inshore, the redfish, they're up on the flat. Look for the tailors and the wakers as you pull along the flats, throwing a gold spoon, maybe a bass assassin soft plastic jerk bait and a 4-inch sea shad. Maybe try it in pink, white, new penny on a weedless hook. And then offshore, the mahis, 700 to 1,500 feet of water. Look for the birds and debris, trolling the weed lines. Use an R&R mahi magnet on a pin 30 wide and have a few spinners ready from any of the schoolies that may be with the fish that you're catching while you're trolling.
All right, well, there's always tournaments going on in the Florida Keys, so let's take a look at some of them, shall we?
Please tell me, please.
All right, anglers enjoy a star-studded weekend packed with meet and greets, dock parties, and family fun June 25th through the 27th in the annual UM Sports Hall of Fame Fan Fest and Celebrity Fishing Tournament at Three Waters Resort in Isla Mirada. Anglers chase dolphinfish, tuna, kingfish, and wahoo for cash prizes and trophies. Then fish for big mahi and cash prizes in the Police Benevolent Association Charity Dolphin Tournament at Stock Island June 26th through the 28th. Proceeds support the Police Love Fund and Autism Society of the Keys. All the tournament events take place at Ocean's Edge Resort and Marina on Stock Island. Next, anglers chase tarpon in the highly competitive Billy Knowles Memorial Port Boys Tarpon Fly Tournament in Isla Mirada. Anglers gather for the captain's meeting July 4th, then fish July 5th and 6th. To score, tarpon must be at least 4 feet long with 100 points awarded for each release. All tournament events are based at Lorelei Restaurant and Cabana Bar. And finally, the Key West Marlin Tournament runs July 22nd through the 25th, coinciding with the annual Hemingway Days Festival in Key West. The high-stakes billfish tournament also has a fun fishing division with cash prizes for the heaviest dolphin, wahoo, and tuna. For more information on Florida Keys tournaments, visit floridakeys.com. What are you pointing to?
I want to do the Key West Marlin Tournament next year. I want to say it right now here, but I will not do it unless you go with me.
Okay.
Because you're the lucky charm.
I'm the lucky charm?
Yeah.
All right, let's try it.
All right, so we're going to set it up.
Okay.
We're going to put our team
2027,
together. And
Key
you'll be
West
the
Marlin.
lady, you're going to be my lady angler.
I'm Lady Luck.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
There we go.
As long as I'm Lady Luck. All right, coming up, A.B. Raymond has trout and barracudas going wild in the Casa Vieja Southeast region. Then we'll join Pat Deneen in the Panhandle, where the redfish are biting hard and the mahi are looking mighty pretty. And whether you're not on the water, keep the fishing fix going with us. Check out the latest reports on our website. Follow us along Facebook, X, and Instagram. And be sure to visit our YouTube channel, Captain Rick Murphy, for even more tips, adventures, and action from around the Sunshine State. We'll be right back.
The Florida Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by StarTron. Start, run, and store with StarTron. Berkeley, your fish, our science. CCA Florida, 40 years of protecting Florida's fisheries. The Florida Keys and Key West, come as you are. Murphy's Law Sport Fishing. Book your trip today at murphyslawsportfishing.com. And the IGFA, every fish, every water, every angler since 1939.
Welcome back. From big bull reds around the bridges to gaffer mahi on the spur, the Panhandle region is delivering some great summertime action. So let's get started with Captain Pat Deneen, shall we?
Let's do it.
Hey, Bree, I tell you what, redfish are definitely one of my favorite inshore fish to target. I think because there are so many ways to fish for them. And really, you can find them in so many different areas. I mean, you can fish live baits in the passes or around the docks for some pretty good bull redfish. Or you can cast off plastic, spoons, topwater baits, along the shoreline and on the flats, and generally you're going to catch those slot fish. But if I really, like the wintertime, enjoy taking the small skiff, to the skinny water, back in the backwaters, and do the sight fishing for them. So really, we catch them year round, and there's so many different ways you can do it. But right now, the slot redfish are being caught on the bayou docks, mainly using live baits like shrimp or croakers or pilchards for bait. And then the deep water inlet bridges, like the Hathaway Bridge of Panama City and the jetties, they're all, and also along the Gulf front beaches, they're all producing some good bull redfish up to 30-plus inches being caught. And there's a photo there of a young lady with Captain David Sherman in Destin. She's proudly showing off a nice redfish she caught fishing in the bayous in Destin this past week. So
nice.
The redfish are pretty plentiful right now.
All right.
The staying inshore, speaking of plentiful, the Spanish mackerel, they continue to be a really, really big crowd pleaser. They're in the bays and also along the beaches. Last week's weather was pretty rough, but it's calmed down quite a bit. But even with that rough weather, the bigger boats were just making their trips by staying inshore, inside the passes or right inside the channels. And they're trolling Clark spoons and Christmas tree rigs, and they're catching nice catches of Spanish mackerels. But it does seem like the bigger Spanish are being caught on live baits by chumming with pilchards on the flats and on the points, right there on the roll downs where the flats roll into about 12 or 15 feet of water. And then free lining a hook bait using 40 to 50 pound fluorocarbon leader and a long shank J hook. Those bay Spanish are running 20 to 25 inches, and I've seen some like pushing 5 to 6 pounds, so there are some good ones around. And then moving offshore, I said the seas have calmed down quite a bit, and the blue water fishing has been going really strong. Once you get out past the edge, the blue water is really plentiful, especially on the east side of the DeSoto Canyon. But also there's a lot of sargassum grass, and the hard thing is finding areas where the grass is spread out enough to troll it. But with that grass, you got plenty of dolphins. So if you could find some places where it's trollable, where the grass is made up into lines or rafts, you got a really good chance at some big gaffer dolphins. Troll ballyhoos, skirted ballyhoos, or lures. We fished the tip of the spur on Father's Day, found some really good grass, and caught a nice mess of greater dolphin and had a shot at a blue marlin. So it's really fishy out there. There's a photo of Cindy Campbell with a nice gaffer bull she caught on her boat out of here, fishing out there Sunday by the spur.
There you go. Good job there, Patar. What else you got for us offshore?
Rick, the king mackerel, finally offshore, the king mackerel bite has stayed strong this past week. All this west wind has blown a lot of really off-colored water into our nearshore, environs. And the old timers called it king mackerel green, and it kind of makes sense because there's a lot of good king mackerels out there right now. The Starfire, a charter boat out of depth, and they caught one this past week just shy of 60 pounds, just right there by the inlet, or by the sea buoy, trolling live cigar minnows, or a herring. They're trolling them on a stinger rig. Fit a couple lines on top, a couple on bottom. So the king's a bit steady. There's plenty of bonitas to keep you busy as well.
All right, man. Thank you so much. We're going to go and take a look at the Bolivian Adventures hotspots from the Panhandle region. Pat says inshore, the big redfish on the afternoon outgoing tide at the halfway bridge. Catch them on live baits, swim baits, and top water. And then offshore, mahi and other blue water pelagic at the spur. There's lots of sargassum that looks for the made-up lines. Those big rafts of sargassum is going to be where they're holding troll. Mixed spread of natural baits and lures. Bree, you see that it's the Bolivian Adventures hotspot.
I see.
This is where we go down there and shoot doves and pigeons, the food, the lodging, 5-star. And you know what, guys, just need to go online and check it out because
you always
it's
have so much fun.
As cool as it can possibly get.
Such a dude's trip.
It is a great
Could be a
dude's
girl's trip too, but.
Oh, it can be. We done family trips, we do it all.
Dude's trips. All right, summertime fishing is in full swing in the Casa Vieja Lodge Southeast region, and Captain A.B. Raymond joins us with a mix of inshore action from great reports from the reef. You know what, A.B.? Give us the 401 from the 305. Look at your background. You are killing it, man. That looks awesome.
Come on, thank you so much. I got homesick after I left the studio that night. I just had to make it feel more like I was in there.
Well, it looks good, dude.
It looks awesome. Good job.
All right, tell us what's happening.
Thanks so much. Well, we are live from the 305. Good evening. Thank you, Bree. And Shaw, great to hear you're in there. You are a legend, man. Here in the Southeast region, I have only caught 4 redfish in my entire life. But we've got trout. We've got plenty of them, and my anglers have been absolutely hammering the trout. We've been fishing up on the grass all week. Early morning sunrise beat has been red hot. There are smoking those Berkeley Gulp shrimp in pearl white and chartreuse. On a 1/8 jig head, we're fishing 10 Spinfisher 2500s with 7-foot ugly stick inshore carbon rods, 15-pound Berkeley X9 braid with 4-foot 25-pound fluorocarbon leaders. The fish have been crushing the 5-inch Berkeley coal shads. Fish the skinny flats when the tide is on the higher side, and the deep flats when the tide is on the lower side. That's the trick. The fish haven't been big, but they're plentiful. They're lots of fun on light tackle. And this week, that 3-inch Gulp turbo shrimp has been hammering fish, by the way, in white. That thing is just matching the hatch. In the summertime, the shrimp gets small. Remember that. That 3-inch turbo shrimp has a perfect profile to match it. Pictured here is my angler, Jared, with a nice 18-incher from this week that inhaled a white Berkeley turbo shrimp, 3-inch. Now, I know that barracudas sometimes get bad press, but I never understood why. And they are stacked up right now along mangrove shoreline, rock jetties, and inlets this week. Haters can hate, but they are world-class game fish on light tackle, and you ain't changing my mind about that. On plugs, on fly, on live bait, they all fight different. They're all incredible to me, and right now they're slashing live pilchards, Berkeley jaywalkers, Berkeley jukes, and especially the Berkeley cutters. Work them parallel to the rock jetties, the island points, and the inlet bridges. The chrome Berkeley cutter 110s have been the hottest baits this week for the cudas. Make sure to fish a nice light or medium casting rod. I like a 7.5-foot Fenwick Eagle rod, so you could really bomb that thing. And remember to tie on a 12 to 18-inch piece of number 5 coffee color stainless steel wire to the terminal end of that casting leader so you don't get cut off by those big teeth. In the photo here is my master angler, Van Stapleton from Chicago, Illinois, with a nice one he caught this week on a chrome Berkeley cutter, 110 size.
Nice. Let's go and tell me about the snappers.
Oh yeah, out on the deep blue sea, those summertime yellowtail snappers are schooled up, but they don't seem to be learning much in that school because we're crushing them this week with fish up to 20 inches hitting my deck. Rig your light spinning outfit with a nice 15-foot, 20-pound fluorocarbon leader for invisibility. and a jig head in white or chartreuse that allows you to sink your bait while free lining in the conditions that are presented to you. Meaning, if it's a real hard current, you might want to go up to a half ounce. If it's real light, you might want to fish a 16th ounce or even a flat line, just a hook. You want to anchor on the reef in 40 to 90 feet right now. Hang a bag of ground Manhattan chum. Bait your jigs up with ballyhoo strips and bonita chunks and free line those tip jig heads. Pictured here is my longtime angler, an amazing father, by the way, JP Rosenbaum, with his whole squad and a nice haul of chunky yellowtails from this week.
Wow, that's so awesome. One to go. What do you got this week?
Yeah, the kingfish have been chewing, and the nice part is they're in the same areas as the yellowtails while you're fishing the reef. Whether you're anchored up doing that yellowtail thing or you just want to drift for them, you want to fish in 40 to 120 feet of water and chum with live pilchards, fish with live pilchards for bait, fish flat lines with 18 inches of number 4 stainless wire on the terminal end, and a 10089 Eagle Claw J hook is what I like to use. The trolling boats also had nice catches of Summer Kings this week. They're trolling number 5 planers with 50-foot, 100-pound mono leader, baited with a sea witch and a bonita strip combo or a 3.5-inch red tape spoon, like a drone spoon. Pictured here is my lady angler, Ashley, from this week with a nice king she caught on a live pilchard. Thank you guys so much. I hope the whole Insider team had a great Father's Day.
AB, you did a great job. I love the studio behind you. Keep up the great work. Such a great asset to us. I appreciate all your hard work each week. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the hot spots from the Casa Vieja Southeast region. He says, inshore, mangrove shorelines with hard running water have been producing nice snook, jacks, and those cudas. Fish them early in the morning or late in the evening with a live pilchard or that Berkeley cutter and chrome. And then offshore, the reef, it has been hot with chunky yellowtails and some muttons. Anchor and chum in 40 to 90 feet of water for big schools of hungry yellowtails, and free line a piece of bonita to catch that big mutton.
Chunky yellowtail. All right, you want to make a difference for Florida's fisheries? I know you do. Slap a Conserve Florida's Fisheries tag on your ride. Your $25 goes towards protecting the resources we all enjoy. Stop by your local DMV or head to redfishtag.com to get started and twin up like Rick and I do.
That's it.
Yeah, we got to look good going down the road. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
I got a question for you.
What?
You just got a new boat.
I did.
You got this tag on the boat trailer?
Nope, we don't have a trailer.
Oh, okay.
Because we on the water, baby.
Oh, I forget. You got the old
lift.
It's
a gift. It's a gift. All right, I'll put it on the lift. I'll just slap a sticker on there. All right, anglers, one last cast before we head into Captain Mike Holiday. He's standing by in the Alto Equipment East region with our final report of the week, including some red hot action you won't want to miss. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
The Florida Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by Yamaha. Reliability starts here. Casa Vieja Lodge, 5-star angling in beautiful Guatemala. Fenwick, feel everything. Phillips, building the infrastructure that safeguards our future. Sportsman's Adventures with Captain Rick Murphy, fishing for adventure. Berkeley Pro Spec Chrome. And Taco Marine, driven by people, focused on you.
Have you ever felt your heart pounding while feeling the power of a tarpon in the Florida Keys? Or experienced the changing colors of a mahi while you bring it on board? Whether it's in the Bahamas, the Florida Keys, Guatemala, or the Florida Everglades, Murphy's Law Sport Fishing has the ability to guide you to the fish of a lifetime. To book your trip today, call 305-878-0455 or go to murphyslawsportfishing.com.
All right, we're going to head to the Alto Equipment East region where Mike Holiday says some of the best redfish action can be found around docks with PVC pilings where these hard-fighting fish love to pick off some crabbies. Go for it, Mike.
Yeah, you know, Bree, we have a lot of redfish throughout my region, but the most consistent action takes place in the Indian River around the docks of Walton Road, St. Lucie Village, Torpy Road, the moorings flats, and up around Johns Island. And redfish seem to really like those PVC docks. I think they can just knock the crabs off them really well. They also like the flats that have a lot of turtle grass on them, like you'll see on the moorings flats. And, you know, we also see them eating crabs in the inlets this time of year on the outgoing tide when the crabs are flushing. redfish are basically garbage cans. They'll eat everything from a shrimp or crab to a live or dead pilchard or mullet. They'll eat soft plastic very well, particularly soft plastics that have gold glitter in them, like a new penny-colored saltwater assassin shad. And don't overlook the gold spoon. That's probably caught more redfish than all the other redfish lures combined. Average redfish in my region is going to be like 4 to 10 pounds. I got a cool photo from Mark Dravo, Fort Pierce. They got that redfish. They plucked that off a PVC dock up in the Indian River on Indian River Drive. The other thing we got going, the early morning sea trout bite really been impressive. The school fish, the grass flats around Big and Little Mud Creeks, around Savannah Road, Middle Cove, Bear Point, Queens Cove, and again the mooring flats. A lot of trout on those right now. There's still some big fish around the Spoil Islands, north of Fort Pierce, south of Harbor Branch, and also around the docks, south of Fort Pierce, around the old fort. The best bites been from dawn to about 9 a.m., and you can throw everything from small topwater plugs, or we've been throwing that Berkeley stick shad a lot, saltwater assassin shads with a 1/8 ounce jig head and that pilchard color or the drunk monkey color works really well. And for big fish, a live pinfish, pigfish, or sand perch under cork is going to be your better bait. Average sea trout in my region is going to be 1 to 3 pounds, but right now we're getting them up to 9 pounds. I got a photo of a great sea trout that we got. Typical trout, Mike Gomlicker got that on a Berkeley stick shad.
Nice. All right, let's go offshore, bub.
Well, the summer sailfish bite is really fired up, as good as it gets right now. There's no real pattern to where to target the fish. They're catching sails in 70 to 120 feet of water off Palm Beach County, in 60 to 90 feet of water off Stewart, and in 150 feet of water off Fort Pierce. The key right now is to find the bait schools. They're around those, hanging out. Anytime they find a food source, they're going to be on it. Sardines are pretty easy to come by right now. You can slow troll them, drift, put them out on kites. There's been a lot of weed, so drifting has been what a lot of guys are doing. Thread fins, goggle eyes work just as well, or you control value if you want to just cover a lot of water. Watch for free jumpers. That's the key right now. A lot of free jumpers and a lot of fish just up sunning on the surface. Average sailfish 30 to 50 pounds. And Captain Eric Davis of Vero Beach sent me this shot of a sailfish. They got that fish in 65 feet of water just south of Fort Pierce.
Cool.
The other thing we got going is a mutton snapper bite. We've got this building moon coming into a full moon on Monday. That's got the muttons ganging up to spawn on the reefs. You'll find them also on some of the wrecks. 65 to 90 feet of water is where they're going to be. So places like the High Bar, the Loran Ledge, 6 Mile Reef, they'll have plenty of fish. But you also want to look at some of the shallower stuff like the reefs around Peck Lake or the sand pile off Stewart, or some of the small wrecks out off Martin in St. Lucie County, like the Shrimp Boat or the Gulf Pride down off Hope Sound. And target the fish with everything from a live or dead sardine, cigar minnow, or grunt plug to a jig and ballyhoo combination, or a jigging spoon. You can anchor up and chum, use long leaders. Fish tend to be a little bit leader shy. And the average mutton in my region is going to be like 4 to 12 pounds. I got a photo from Captain Glenn Cameron on the Floridian charter boat out of Stewart. They got this mutton the other day on the 6 Mile Reef on a grunt plug.
All right, tell me about the bass fishing.
I heard you got Shaw in there, so he'll know this is the way Okeechobee goes. Water levels are down. It's about 11 feet on Okeechobee right now. The school bass are feeding. They're in that summertime pattern. They're on the shallow grass patches around Kings Bar, Honey Pond, and Observation Shoal. I was talking to Captain Nathan Shellen of OkeechobeeBassFishing.com. He said to start your day looking for school fish and also that occasional big fish in the mix. Throwing popping frogs or white swim baits around the outside grass lines in those areas. And you can also throw a chrome and blueback lipless crankbait around that deeper outside grass. And then as the day heats up, what a lot of boats are doing is they're moving into the Rim Canal and using their forward-facing sonar to either locate submerged structure or bait schools with bass around them, and then precision casting to the fish with either a vibrating lure, a lipless crankbait, or a stick bait. Right now it's at 20 to 30 fish morning on Okeechobee. Average bass 1 to 4 pounds, but they're getting them up to about 8 pounds.
So Hollywood, we're going to come up there and do a snook show with you at the end of July. I'm really excited about doing that. What do you think?
That's as prime time as it gets, too. And it's interesting. The big fish the biggest fish of the year will move in right at that time, right at the end of July, in the first 2 weeks of August. That's when you're going to find the biggest fish of the year around our inlets, and not just my inlet. You'll find them in Jupiter, you'll find them in Palm Beach or Lake Worth Inlet, you'll find them in Fort Pierce Inlet as well. And I don't know if Sebastian well enough, but that's when those real big fish come into the inlet. And the schools, just even the schools, the fish in the schools, the average fish is larger.
All right, sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the TH Marine hotspots from the East region. Mike says inshore, snook around the docks on the north side of Jupiter Inlet. On the incoming tide, live sand perch, croakers, and sardines are going to get a job done there. And then offshore, drag high-speed trolling lures for wahoos and 220 to 340 feet of water off of the breakers. Ballyhoos and Islander combination or big plugs are going to catch you. So wahoo for dinner.
All right, Rick. Well, all the redfish reports are in, but coming up next week, we'll turn our attention to a species that's as unique as they come. So stay tuned to find out what that is. And our Seize the Social moment, Shaw's going to comment on it. We'll be right back.
Whoa.
Get ready to cast off into the world of adventure with our exclusive line of fishing shirts and hats, inspired by your favorite fishing shows. Designed for the dedicated angler in you, our high-performance gear is guaranteed to keep you cool and comfortable. Join the ranks of your favorite fishing pros and reel in the excitement. Be an insider, fish like a pro, dress like a legend. Shop your favorite brands of Sportsman's Adventures, Florida and Texas Insider Fishing Reports today at store.rmmedia.com.
Hey fish fans, tell all your fishing buddies that you can now stream your favorite fishing shows anytime with Pursuit Plus. Watch full episodes of Sportsman Adventures, Florida and Texas Insider Fishing Report on demand whenever you want. Whether you're looking for fishing action, reports, tips, or the latest conditions, it's all in one place. Sign up today at PursuitPlusTV.com for just $4.99 with promo code RickPlus and never miss another bite. All right, next week we're talking triple tail, so make sure to tune in for that. But you know what? We've got a great Seize the Social today, and I think Shaw in his retirement is going to really appreciate this clip. While we eat our projects, let's take a look.
I just want to see if this little.
All right, there's a rod. But guess what?
Oh my gosh.
That ain't no fish.
Uh-oh.
What is that, Sean?
That's my buddy. I had that happen to me 2 days ago.
He's coming quick. He's coming fast.
Chased me down.
Damn.
He's gaining on me.
My goodness.
Oh my God.
Wow. I wonder if he caught up to him.
I probably did.
Probably
Better
did.
be running fast.
So now would that be considered a nuisance gator?
That is definitely a nuisance gator.
Coming from my trapper buddy. What do you think about this project?
Amazing.
Yeah, we're just having
amazing.
a movie and a snack.
The best steak I ever had in my life came from him.
Wow, that's a
Ever
lot.
in my lifetime.
I know about that.
Yeah, amazing stuff. Worth the visit.
You take me to catch an 11-foot alligator, it's cooler of steaks or project shows up, doesn't it? Thank you so much for being here. We're so grateful to have
Thanks
you.
for having me.
We'd love to have more of you. Anytime you want to come, just know the door is always open.
Yes, what an honor. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Adios.